Chapter 3 of The Srrws of Satan. The door opened, and from the dense obscurity enshrouding me, I could just perceive a tall, shadowy figure standing on the threshold. I remember well the curious impression the mere outline of this scarcely discerned form made upon me even then, suggesting at first glance such a stately majesty of height and bearing as once riveted my attention, so much so indeed that I scarcely heard my landlady's introductory words. "A gentleman to see you, sir," words that were quickly interrupted by a murmur of dismay at finding the room in total darkness. "Well, to be sure, the lamp must have gone out," she exclaimed. Then, addressing the personage she had ushered thus far, she added, "I'm afraid Mr. Tempest isn't in after all, sir, though I certainly saw him about a half hour ago. If you don't mind waiting here a minute, I'll fetch a light and see if he has left any message on his table." She hurried away, and though I knew that, of course, I ought to speak, a singular and quite inexplicable perversity of humor kept me silent and unwilling to declare my presence. Meanwhile, the tall stranger advanced a pace or two, and a rich voice with a ring of ironical amusement in it called me by my name. "Geoffrey Tempest, are you there?" Why could I not answer? The strangest and most unnatural obstinacy stiffened my tongue, and, concealed in the gloom of my forlorn literary den, I still held my peace. The majestic figure drew nearer, till in height and breadth it seemed so suddenly overshadowed me, and once again the voice called, "Geoffrey Tempest, are you there?" For very shame's sake I could hold out no longer, and with a determined effort I broke the extraordinary dumb spell that had held me like a coward, in silence hiding, and came forward boldly to confront my visitor. "Yes, I am here," I said, "and being here, I am ashamed to give you such a welcome as this. You're Prince Romanez, of course. I've just read your note, which prepared me for your visit, but I was hoping that my landlady, finding the room in darkness, would conclude I was out and show you downstairs again. You see, I am perfectly frank." "You are indeed," returned the stranger, his deep tones still vibrating with the silvery clang of veiled satire, "so frankly that I cannot fail to understand you. Briefly, and without courtesy, you resent my visit this evening and wish I had not come." This open declaration of my mood sounded so brusque that I made haste to deny it, though I knew it to be true. Truth, even in trifles, always seems unpleasant. This open declaration of my mood... "Pray do not think me so churlish," I said. "The fact is, I only opened your letter a few minutes ago, and before I could make any arrangements to receive you, the lamp went out, with this awkward result that I am forced to greet you in this unsociable darkness, which is almost too dense to shake hands in." "Shall we try?" my visitor inquired, with a sudden softening of his accent that gave his words a singular charm. "Here's my hand. If yours has any friendly instinct in it, the twain will meet, quite blindly and without guidance." I at once extended my hand, and it was instantly clasped in a warm and somewhat masterful manner. At that moment a light flashed on the scene. My landlady entered, bearing what she called her best lamp, alit, and set it on the table. I believe she uttered some exclamation of surprise at seeing me. She may have said anything or nothing. I did not hear or heed, so entirely was I amazed and fascinated by the appearance of the man whose long, slender hand still held mine. I am myself an average good height, but he was fully a half-head taller than I, if not more than that, and I looked straightly at him, though I had never seen so much beauty and intellectuality combined in the outward personality of any human being. The finely shaped head denoted both power and wisdom, and was so nobly poised on such shoulders as might have benefited a Hercules. The countenance was a pure oval, and singularly pale, this complexion intensifying the almost fiery brilliance of the full dark eyes, which had in them a curious and wonderfully attractive look of mingled mirth and misery. The mouth was, perhaps, the most telling feature in this remarkable face, set in the perfect curve of beauty, yet it was firm, determined, and not too small, thus escaping effeminacy, and I noted that in repose it expressed bitterness, disdain, and even cruelty. but with the light of a smile upon it, it signified, or seemed to signify, something more subtle than any passion to which we can give a name, and already, with the rapidity of a lightning flash, I caught myself wondering what that mystic, undeclared something might be. At a glance, I comprehended these primary details in my new acquaintance's eminently prepossessing appearance, and, when my hand dropped from his closed grasp, I felt as if I had known him all my life. And now, face to face with him in the bright lamplight, I remembered my actual surroundings: the bare, cold room, the lack of fire, the black suit that sprinkled the nearly carpetless floor, my own shabby clothes and deplorable aspect, as compared with this regal-looking individual, who carried the visible evidence of wealth upon him in the superb Russian sables that lined and bordered his long overcoat, which he now partially unfastened and threw open with a carelessly imperial air, the while he regarded me, smiling.